What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie298 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. This is my first gaming news segment in a couple of weeks, so let's get right into it. So the Xbox One X has been out for about a week, and who wants one of these overpriced premium consoles anyway? Well, turns out quite a few people. Now, we don't have a lot of sales figures for the Xbox One X, and I'm looking forward to them releasing more. But we do know the European numbers, and they sold about 80,000 units in Europe. And Europe is pretty much dominated by PlayStation for the most part. Now, 80,000 units does not seem like a lot of units until you realize that the original PlayStation 4 launch, it took them a month to get those kind of sales in for the PlayStation 4 in Europe. And, you know, it only took about a week for the Xbox One X to do that. So it's more popular than the basic PlayStation 4 over there, and that's a pretty good sign. And that information is coming fast off the heels of analysts saying originally they thought they would sell about 400,000 units at launch, but just before launch, said based on the number of pre-orders they had seen, they expected to move about 900,000 units at launch. So that is pretty impressive, especially for Xbox and all the mistakes Xbox has made over the past few years. A lot of people want a more powerful console, and this bodes very well for the Xbox One X. I said earlier that if the Xbox One X doesn't move a lot of units, then it's kind of a pointless device because developers are not going to develop for it. But since they are moving quite a bit of units right here off the bat, and I can only imagine what the Christmas season is going to do, that means developers will pick up and take notice, and they'll take advantage of the power, and that's going to make the box even more worth it, so it's worth making bigger sales. That was the problem with the PlayStation 4 Pro. It just didn't sell enough units, and I think it's because it wasn't that much of a power upgrade, and not a lot of people were interested in VR, so they didn't really need the power upgrade. But in this case, it is a huge step up. 4K gaming, 60 frames per second, and that's something console gamers have wanted for a while, even though we PC players have had it for quite a while. The really good news here, though, is even if you hate Xbox and you're a PlayStation fan or even a PC gamer, this kind of puts Xbox back on the map. A lot of people that have not bought an Xbox are very interested in the Xbox One X because it's more powerful, so they're going to buy it either as a companion console or as their first console for this generation, and if that's the case, that makes them competition for PlayStation again. And as we all know, the consumer wins when there is competition in platforms. So I know this is good for everybody. Now, I'm going to try to calm down on the EA hate train this week because I've already done several videos on their topic about Battlefront 2, but I do want to talk a little bit about them buying Respawn Entertainment. If you're unaware of Respawn Entertainment, they are the folks over there who made Titanfall and Titanfall 2. Titanfall 1, kind of a okay game. Titanfall 2, an incredible game. If you can pick that game up on sale, I highly recommend it, even though you will be directly profiting EA. Well, they decided to sell their company for several millions of dollars to EA. Now, here's the reason I'm talking about this. Not just to hate on EA, but the folks over at Respawn Entertainment made a statement saying, you know what, we will maintain autonomy and we will continue to make the games that we want to make, which is very promising because Titanfall was pretty innovative and Titanfall 2 was even better. I really enjoyed Titanfall 2. That said, you are not the first company to sell to EA with that intention, with that idea in mind. I wanted to wish those guys the best of luck, but this is a tale as old as time. But maybe, just maybe, this will be the turning point for EA. They've got to be learning a lesson with all the whipping we've done of them lately. Probably not, but for the folks over at Respawn, I hope so for your sake. Good luck. My biggest concern is I think the folks over at EA felt that Titanfall 2 was not profitable because of the fact that it wasn't monetized in the way that Battlefront 2 is. I think that's absolutely not the case. The reason Titanfall 2 did not do so well is you launched it in the same week as Battlefield 1 and then right next to Call of Duty being launched. Why? Why was that not a winter game? I don't know. If that had been a February game, it would have sold millions. And now I'd like to take a little moment to give a shout out to my sponsor for this week's video, Glasses USA. Now, you guys know I've been working with Glasses USA for quite some time now, and all my glasses come from there. But recently, me and my wife went to the optometrist to get our prescriptions updated, and I need new glasses. Here's the thing, though. As we were leaving, they tried to upsell a pair of glasses to me, and the prices were absolutely absurd. So what we did was we just asked them for our prescription, and we took it home, and we placed a big order on Glasses USA. I uploaded a picture so that I could do the virtual shopping thing and try on a bunch of different frames, and then once I found something I liked, I was able to purchase it for a fraction of what I would have paid for it at the optometrist. But they have glasses for everybody. They have over 2,500 different styles that you can choose from, and if you want to, you can click on the link in the description box below, and they've arranged for you to get a very deep discount for viewers of this video if you just click on that link. So you guys know that I like to complain about microtransactions, and chances are most of you like to complain about microtransactions, but some of you must love these things. Now, the reason I say that is because in the last 30 days, we have seen two different companies, Take-Two Interactive and Ubisoft, saying they make more by reoccurring purchases of their games than they make from the initial sales. Now, when they say reoccurring purchases, they mean microtransactions and DLC and season passes and all of that stuff, but the bulk of that money is definitely coming from these little microtransactions. Now, when it comes to Take-Two Interactive, keep in mind, they are the people who publish Grand Theft Auto and Grand Theft Auto Online for the folks over there at Rockstar, so that obviously makes a lot of sense from them. They have sold billions of dollars worth of shark cards. And even though they sold 85 million copies of Grand Theft Auto Online, they have made more from selling shark cards. With Ubisoft, it's a little more confusing because I played a lot of their games in the last year, and to be honest with you, not very many of them really seem to push the microtransactions. They seem to be pretty avoidable, and that leads me to thinking that a lot of people look for them and want them and are excited by them, and certainly even if it's not a lot of people, even if it's only a small fraction of the market, then those people must be spending a buttload of money, absolutely. But I know I've contributed to this as well. When it comes to free-to-play games like Hearthstone and Eternal, I definitely pull out the credit card from time to time. Generally never in a $60 game, though. I don't understand who's doing that. Here's what I can say. Ubisoft and Take-Two both have their mobile games, and I know they're making some money from there, but they definitely do sell a lot of AAA games that have these microtransactions built right into them, and that's the thing. I think that's never going away. In fact, the guys over at Take-Two said they will never publish another game that does not have reoccurring transactions built right into them. They promised their stockholders that, and honestly, at that point, who can blame them? But please keep in mind, Take-Two is also publishing Red Dead Redemption 2, so my hype level went from here to, well, still about here. And look, I used to hate just the concept of microtransactions, but they do have their place in some games. For the most part, not in a $60 game, in my opinion. You should definitely discount your game or give it away for free if you're going to use this business model. That said, though, I think as long as it's cosmetic and it's purely optional, I think that's okay. It's when you design the game around this stuff that you really have the problem. But if you look at this, some of the games that Take-Two has published, some of the games that Ubisoft absolutely take advantage of that, and it means it's working. It means they are designing their games around loot boxes that are setting in front of you that you can't open in the world unless you spend extra money. They're designing games where you buy credits to upgrade your characters in your sports game, and I think it's not going away because people clearly are spending money on it. So here's what I want to ask you. If you're the kind of person that buys these optional purchases inside of a video game or buys the video game that doesn't make them optional, if you're that person, let me know in the comments section below. Tell me, are you just absurdly rich? Are you absurdly short on time? Is it you just don't really care? Is it just you have more money than you know what to do with? Tell me what it is, because I got to tell you something. Even though I have plenty of money to spend on gaming, and spending money on gaming is a tax write-off for me, I still don't do this stuff. So I'm curious as to who it is. My best guess? Kids. It's probably kids with their mom's credit card because they don't know the value of a buck. And then finally, speaking of Star Wars Battlefront, there's an apology and a retraction I would like to include here at the end of this video. While I was talking about Star Wars Battlefront 2 on Twitter, I included a screenshot from a supposed developer at EA by the name of Big Sean66, who said that he was receiving threats and personal attacks because people don't like certain elements in their game. In that tweet, I kind of went hard against the people who were doing that kind of thing and talked about how they basically make gamers as a whole look kind of bad, and that's one of the reasons developers don't mind screwing us over, because they don't really feel like we deserve to be treated kindly because a small number of people in the gaming community can act like that, and I stand by that. However, it looks like that supposed developer is not a developer at all. And this story was broken by Kotaku, Jason Schreier over there, as well as MomBot brought it to my attention on Twitter. And so I want to apologize for spreading misinformation. I do genuinely feel that no matter how much you don't like something on the internet, personal attacks and stuff like that, it's never a good way to resolve it. I do genuinely feel that's especially important in gaming because we have such a negative stigma when it comes to gaming, and the media will always reinforce that given that opportunity. So please never resort to that. Nobody deserves that kind of vitriol and bull crap on the internet. But here's the thing, since I've been receiving that ever since I started creating YouTube videos, when somebody talks about that, it is easy for me to believe them. And in this case, I got taken in by a potential troll, and that stinks, but that's my bias. My bias is to believe people who have been harassed because I've been harassed so much, and I hope you can understand that. But again, whenever I make a mistake like this, I'm quick to apologize, and I hope you accept the apology. But I think that's going to do it for this week. I was going to talk about all the different games that have come out and talk about their current scores. Maybe that'll be a separate video later in the week. week, or maybe it'll be next week's gaming update. I do want to talk a little more positively about gaming, but there's so much drama going on right now. But I'm curious, what games are you playing right now? Are there any games you're still looking forward to that are coming out this year? Are you excited about this year's Game Awards? Have you seen the nominations? I made a video about that, so check out the rest of the videos on the channel. Let me know in the comments section below. And while you're there, don't forget to click on the link in the description box below to check out this week's sponsor. As always, thanks to the folks at Glasses USA for supporting me and for creating a quality product. But until next time, as always, guys, thanks for watching. I love you very much. I'll speak with you again soon.